Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the SH Figuarts Tekken 8 JIN KAZAMA, and it's the jacketed version, which is like his thing now, but let's just do a question of the day right now. As cool as his jacket is, would you rather have a figure of a more traditional looking JIN? I know I would. To me, the jacket just takes away some of his uniqueness, and it's a very cool jacket. I would wear the jacket, but that's not the way I want my JIN to look. Let me know what you guys think. I want my JIN to be more traditional with the different pants. Like, this whole outfit is just not my thing, but let me know what you guys think. Anyway, the figure looks pretty darn good. I'm hoping it's really good. The Street Fighter line has been questionable at best from this brand, and so to add more fighting game characters in is maybe a good thing, maybe not. We're gonna find out. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Before we look at the figure though, I would like to show you my package. It's a nice one. It's a little bit straightforward, nothing too crazy going on. We have a little bit of window on the side though, and on the top. That's nice for you inbox collectors. Photo of the figure on the front is good enough. On the side we have a game render, which looks way better than the figure by a lot. Let's just do a quick comparison right there. The face. This one looks way better. His head's too small. Well, we'll get into that. Okay, so there you go. And then some more photos on the back. And then another little photo on the side. Alright, pretty standard packaging. Nothing special, but pretty decent, I would say. Alright, this guy stands, well, let's go ahead and pan back a little bit. This guy stands just about, let's say 6 inches to the top of his head. The way his hair sticks up isn't really helpful for scale, so we'll just do that. So about 15.5 centimeters. By the way, this guy is in stock at Big Bad Toy Store right now if you want to get one. There's a link in the description below. Okay, so, aesthetically speaking, at first I thought this figure looked really good, and in some ways it does, but then in other ways it does not, because they just missed that one little thing, and I'll tell you what that thing is in just a second. I'll show you the good though. First, the good is the paintwork that's there is really, really, really nice. Is it absolutely perfect? No, it's never going to be at an even remotely reasonable price, but that's a lot of line work on this guy's jacket, and it is nice. His little glove beads are there. Those are nice. More paintwork on the back there. Those lines are clean. There's some paintwork down here on the boots. Like, it's not missing anything terribly, but the one thing it's missing is what's making it look bad. Unfortunately, with all of that paint, they didn't separate any of the finishes at all. It is all just matte finish all the way around, except for the little silver bits. Everything else is plain, so there's no differentiation for the zipper, for the pants, to the shirt, to the jacket, to the skin, to anything. It's all very one note, and so it makes it look unfinished to some degree. Like I said, there's a lot of good paint on here, so it's good, but if you're holding it in your hand, it does feel somewhat strange. Luckily, it is a matte finish, and that's a good thing, but otherwise, it does have a little bit of a weirdness to it. Okay, and then the other thing I kind of mentioned a minute ago when we were looking at the package, his face is technically well enough done. It's just not super accurate. His head is smaller than it should be, and his face is kind of feminine rather than masculine. It's not, let me grab the package again. That's what she said. It's just not that. And he doesn't have like the most masculine features anyway, you know what I mean? But they still made him kind of narrow, the skin tone's all off. It's not bad. It'll look fine in your display, I guess, but it's not anywhere near as cool looking as it should be, and that's unfortunate. Having them side by side is really the only way to tell. Yeah, they missed the mark, I think. But it's not terrible, so I guess that's okay. And so otherwise, as far as like the overall proportions and whatnot, two things stand out. Like I mentioned, the head is too small. Even with the big puffy jacket, I get it. It's not supposed to be that puffy. His head is definitely too small. And he does have a big crotch gap or thigh gap, and I'll explain why that happened in a little bit. But it's still decent looking. Like, it's definitely going to be fine if you're a big JIN KAZAMA fan. KAZAMA, however you pronounce it. I don't know, some of these games, they don't have proper pronunciations. I've never played Tekken, but I've always heard people say KAZAMA, and that's not right. So I don't know how people, I mean, it shouldn't be right. Anyway, doesn't matter. it looks pretty good. If you're a big fan of him, you're going to be happy with it. If you're not, it might be an easy pass because that little head throws it off a lot for me. I'm wondering how it does for you guys, but it looks okay. There is enough good there. I'll bump it up to a 7 just because there's a lot of good, clean paintwork on there, and it's mostly sculpted pretty well. So, I don't know, it's a weird one. Alright, as far as accessories go, we do get 3 heads. The neutral head you already saw in the package, one where he's looking off to the side, and then this other one, which is... that's a rough one. I don't know. The tampography is not great for the eyes, but then the sculpt and mouth and everything... I'm just going to leave that one there. That's one of the options. And then for hands, you get a decent spread of hands. That's it for main accessories. No effect parts, no display stand, nothing else. But they brought back they brought back these cardboard backdrops from the Street Fighter line, which they suck. They suck so bad. The print work is nice enough, but they are not high quality. They are all warped and bent in the package, and it tells you, it's going to have a hard time focusing on this. They tell you, okay, when you take them out, you have to go like this. Yeah, no kidding. Thanks for the instructions. But this one's okay. This one came bent. Like, it's not a huge deal, but it is an included accessory that comes all warped and junky. And they don't look good. Standing on the shelf, they look like you just printed it out and stuck it back there. So don't put the budget into this, Bandai. That's not good. I don't like it. I wonder if anybody likes these. Does anybody use these with this figure or Street Fighter or any of the ones that have done this? To me, it's just a giant waste of money. They're not well made. At least make them a thicker stock so that they're not all warped and janky. Especially once you straighten them out, they don't look good. So accessory-wise on this guy, I'm gonna say only I'm gonna say 6 out of 10. The heads are not good enough, and you just get a few hands otherwise. No kind of effect part is really lame. A little flamey fist thing or something would have been nice. All the Street Fighter figures get effect parts. Why doesn't JIN here? That's lame. Alright, articulation on this guy. Good news is we have a ball peg in the neck. Double ball peg, that's good for the head to neck. And then a ball peg in the neck. It should work. Let's see. Let's see if it does. We're gonna get in nice and tight. Yeah, that's gonna work just fine. Love it. That's great. The neck's a little bit more gappy than I would like. Let's do another question of the day. I didn't realize this was as much of a contentious topic. I've heard a lot of people say lately they don't like articulated necks, only at the top of the neck where it connects to the head. Where do you stand on that? I like the versatility of the articulated neck, but I also would prefer a cleaner sculpt, I think. I don't think I often need to actually move the neck. If you do a good enough neck to head connection, I don't think it's necessary. Let me know what you guys think. Alright, for the shoulders, it looks way more complex than it is, I think. I don't think this is actually a butterfly. I'm pretty sure it's just a floating piece, or if it does have a butterfly joint, it doesn't really work that well, because there's nowhere for it to go. So, I don't know for sure what this piece right here, this intermediate piece is doing, but it's not much. But then for the shoulders, we get all the way out to the side, that's fine. You do have a ball hinge in there with a ball peg that goes into the body. And so you can bring the arm down nice and tight, you can shrug the shoulder up, you can shrug it down if you wanted to. You do get your full rotation, although the butterfly piece gets in the way some, which is strange. And you get a bicep swivel up there in the shoulder. Now I don't typically like joints where the ball hinge is smaller than the shoulder itself, but this one works. I mean, it works pretty well. They did a decent job of not making it hideous, and it has good range and additional swivel up there, so that's nice. Now the reason I say additional is because it's not typically where the bicep swivel is. Unfortunately for this guy, that's going to be most of it. For the elbow, you get technically a double jointed elbow. You get one in the forearm and then obviously the one right there. The one in the forearm does very little, and so you get 90 degrees. 90 degrees like that, and if we do it the other way around, you get slightly better than 90. That's not good enough. That's not good enough for somebody who needs to be in fighting poses. He needs a tighter bend. That is a really, really ugly, unnecessarily complex elbow joint that should have just been a freaking normal double jointed elbow. That is lame. Do you get rotation out of it? Yes, but not that much. So, I mean, between this one and this one, it'll be probably enough. That'll be fine, but you still don't get enough bend. That's really annoying that they didn't do that. Just cut it out some, or make a bigger joint so you don't have to cut it out. That's... He can't get into a good fighting pose. That's unfortunate. Big time. Wrists are on little ball hinges. That's fine. The gauntlet can't rotate. And maybe that's accurate to the game, but I assumed that the gauntlet would rotate with the hand. so that if he's got his hand like this would be up higher, like it would rotate around to the outside of his forearm. Wait a minute. Does it actually rotate? It does! It was stuck. Okay, good. It does rotate. I take that back. When I was messing with it, it felt like it couldn't go anywhere, but I guess with the warmth of my hands, my gentle touch, it has started to work. So good. It rotates. I take it back. That's awesome. I'm probably right that it should rotate then, since it does in fact rotate. All right, that's good. The jacket is connected in more places than I would like. So the torso, I don't know exactly what's going on here, so I'm just going to show you what kind of range it has. I can't get in there to see the joints. It feels like ball pegs. He doesn't lean forward very far, even with a lot of force. That's it. Leaning back, he doesn't go very far, and you can see inside his special place down there, so that's a bummer. Going to the side, it only seems to work on the bottom joint, so I don't know what's going on with his torso, but it seems to suck. I mean, I guess it's there. It works okay in that direction. I don't know. I can't quite tell what's going on, so it's hard for me to say. It's enough. I guess it's enough, but it's not great. I think they just didn't need this to be all connected the way it is. So many layers of plastic. Okay, for the hips, this is a weird thing that they've done. They've done a drop-down hip, which is why he has that big thigh gap. When his hips are up, they're too far apart. And then when they go down, obviously they're down and you can't use them. But it's a drop-down ball hinge, so or ball peg. It's a hinged ball peg. But then they also put the cap there that makes it look like it's one of their more traditional style hips. So that cap gets wiggled around and ends up looking weird. But functionally, he can kick high enough. It does look weird in the hip area, but he can kick high enough, but not particularly high, and that's with it all the way down. Let's see if we can really force it. Nope, that's as high as it's going. So his hips suck going forward compared to what's in there. There's so much engineering that they should have really good range. They do go back a little bit, but they have to drop down below the butt cheek. So that doesn't look great either. Alright, and then going out to the side. The drop down doesn't help going out to the side ever. He has decent range, but not good range. These hips suck. For what they should be, they suck real bad. Why are they over-engineered drop-down ball pegs when they just could have been your standard Figuarts hips? Those are not good. This is on a ball peg, so it moves around as you pose him, so that's okay. Cool enough design. But yeah, the hips suck. Thigh swivel is in there, so that's okay. Double jointed knee, that's pretty good. I like that knee. That's a better knee than we normally see, so that's pretty nice. And then for the ankles, just a ball peg. But you get decent range and no big gapping, so I'm fine with that. It's a stiff enough ball peg, that's alright. Toe hinge is good. Good enough. And that's it. So yeah, he's okay. He's okay. It's a weird combination of good and bad with this figure. I don't think it is enough articulation for, like, the amount of engineering and being... See, this one... Okay, there we go. It didn't want to go. For the amount of engineering and being an SH Figuarts, I expected much better range of motion. Shoulders are okay, neck is okay, torso kind of bad. I mean, compared to what it should be. Elbows are kind of bad, hips are kind of bad, knees are good, ankles are good. Yeah, it's just not where it should be. I think Bandai maybe is just spreading themselves too thin? I don't know what's going on. Half their releases are bad, half their releases are good, and then the other half are somewhere in between. I don't know what's going on. It's weird. This one is somewhere in between. For the articulation, I'm going to give it only a 6 out of 10. Way too limited. Way too limited. Not being able to bend the elbows more, that blows. The hips being that janky, that blows. The torso, that blows. Yeah. Final verdict on this guy, it's good enough if you really wanted a JIN figure, especially in this outfit. But for those of you who wanted a JIN figure, like of a traditional JIN, and we're going to settle for this, I don't think you should. Unless you really like his jacket, it's just not that good of a figure. I would hold out for a JIN that looks like traditional JIN. If I wasn't reviewing things, I would not have even bought this because I don't care about the jacket outfit. But I wanted to show it to you guys, and now that I've seen it, I stand by that. Don't buy it unless you really like the way this one looks. It's not good enough to just fill in as a JIN figure, if you ask me. So I'm going to give it a final rating of only... I'm going to bump it up to a 7 because of the clean paint job on the jacket, but that's probably too generous, given the problems of this figure, lack of accessories, the tiny head. Yeah, there's a lot wrong with it, so that's unfortunate. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and we'll talk down there. But that's it from me for now, so thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down, and if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day, and thousands already on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.